fine. But then he's just not getting hit at all.
Hello and welcome back to GSL. Going into that last game, we had a very interesting match where it was quite back and forth for the first 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden, yeah, Chernobog just decided to win the game. Definitely not surprised that there's a Chernobog ban coming out here. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think the experienced Harpies just didn't have. No, sorry, Haiti didn't have the uh, answer for the Chernobog, and he just went untouched. Rayful just had an absolutely stellar game and was able to get really high value ultimates off and sort of not be punished for it and just pump out so much damage. It was quite impressive to see.
Yeah, put him in upper division, guys. It's time. Going into this next game, we talked about Haiti possibly here getting rid of their dual lane potentially and their jungler to potentially put some more pressure onto the ADC lane here. What would you recommend being the picks here? Do you have any recommendations?
One thing I'd like to highlight is Carly wasn't even picked or banned last game, I don't think. So, Carly is probably one of the strongest assassins in the game at the moment, and not to even be looked at. It's a little bit surprising to me. So, I'd quite like to see either team, go towards that pick. It's so strong, especially for the late game. I see the King Arthur hovered, and picking up this high is risky, but it could potentially work.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of King Arthur come out of the meta, and I think for the most part it's not too bad, but when it comes to the Harpies and how
demon can
dominant
defeat
the
me.
was, you made a good point before we went live here that Arthur can just kind of get mauled slightly in terms of the ADC pressure and just getting to hold
Are
left
you ready
click.
to ride
I think
the
he does enough
lightning?
damage at this point that it's okay, but yeah, definitely a risky pick here. What's less picky here, or less risky here, is talking about this Raijin and Charon. What do you think of those two picks right now?
Raijin obviously really strong, and experienced Harpies showed quite how strong it was last game. Karen, I do also like. I think definitely top 3 supports at the moment. The Geb pickup from experienced Harpies into the King Arthur, I'm not a fan of. I'll be honest. I was thinking, King Arthur being picked up so high, it runs the risk of now then getting a huge counter pick, such as running back
This is
their
a bloody
Ares
business. Shall we
or
get to it
going
then?
towards a Ganesh. Either one goes pretty hard into King Arthur. He kind of shuts his whole entire kit down. So I'm a little bit surprised to see the Geb. Sorry, especially with a god that relies on knockups. With that too being sort of his main form of CC outside of the ultimate, and King Arthur being knockup immune and most of his kit. So
Now,
yeah.
Hear me out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I will not
Have
fall!
Ganesh ADC.
Flee for your lives!
Surely, yes. Must go hard. Hastering
it.
elephant goes
Yeah.
crazy.
Ganesh would have been a good pick into both these teams too, actually, with the Susano on the other side here. Definitely having a Geb here just really just allows the Susano to kind of run at the enemy team here, and he's basically allowed to have free CC immunity, especially with that Geb shield, as long as they have the advantage going into the team fight. Very interesting to see that pick come through. And also we have Apollo as well that came through as well. So I mean, we had the now we have Apollo.
Yeah, so Rayful clearly favoring these global ultimate hunters. Chernobog and Apollo very much do sort of this very similar thing, and both of them obviously recently getting their buffs as well. I think both are quite strong. I would say Chernobog's a little bit stronger than Apollo, but Apollo definitely still is pretty good. Has a sneaky decent laning phase as well. So Floof 2Q is going to have to be a little bit careful. The amount of protections, the slows that Apollo gets, and also of course the passive as well. Really good for boxing.
Railful trying to do it all again. Let's see if he can. Let's go into game 2. Take it away, King Koopa.
Thank you, Lana. We're going into game here, and once again, I'm back here with Sparkfira, ready to cast another game. Hopefully not as long, maybe a bit more decisive. I'd like to save my voice for some amount of time. But, with these, when you get down to this level of play, games tend to take longer. Teams tend to be a bit more safer, they tend to take less risks. We see a small pause here, but while we're paused, I guess that gives us a chance. Any builds that really hit your eye?
Not really, outside of the ADCs, switching what they are doing. This time there. Oh no, actually, it is the same, isn't it? Chernobog was the one with.
It is the same.
Yeah, it is the same. So nothing out of the ordinary. I'm expecting both ADCs to not go crit again. Then, both mid laners playing what I would expect them to be building what I would expect them to build. Nothing out of the ordinary, really. Maybe to talk about compositions, because this time I'm a little bit less sure of what team I like more. I do think the King Arthur being picked that early is a bit rough. There is so much potential for counterpicking, but then the Harpies kind of just didn't. So I'm not sure. I think I do like the Apollo. Lots of buffs. I think he could be looking really good. I haven't played him too much yet and haven't seen him that much, but I could imagine that does give him a lot higher positioning in tier lists and stuff. Susano is still incredibly good. Raven has kind of fallen off a bit, hasn't he? I don't know.
I still think Ravana is very good. I think he's less good in the solo lane than he was before, but I
Yeah.
do think he has a spot as a jungler. But you know, OBC obviously taking him here to the solo lane. I really liked the way he played that Achilles, so I'm actually incredibly excited to see him play this Rav. I mean, Ravana still has a lot of potential for sure. I mean, he can really get into that back line. He can do a lot of damage even with that sort of hybrid tanky build. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I mean, Harpies really emphasize their play in the late game in that game. And with this team comp, I expect them to play very similarly. Although with the Kali on the side of Haiti, it's gonna be a bit harder to win those late game team fights. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I think Hati have done very well on cleaning up their team comp with Ghost Rider getting first, but
Oh!
double kill in mid too. That is gonna be so massive. I was just about to talk about this Kali and how this is so much better a pick than this Osiris. The desk talked about it too, that there is something that needs to change for Ghost Rider. The Osiris pick was just not it, and how criminal it was for Kali to be open that long and for no one to pick it. So I think this is definitely the right way to go. Kali getting off to a great start as well, over to Susano as well, who wants to get some early pressure because otherwise he feels kind of useless. So this is very, very big, and I think Hati have a much stronger late game this time around. And I do think Speed of Sound is probably going to show us a little bit more what Raijin can do than Scoot did last game. And I think that is going to be scary. If he can do as well as he did on Scylla, a character that is not very meta at all, just imagine what he can do now that he is on a meta.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, when everyone talks about Kali, she's known as this like hyper late game god that really just wants to farm and get to the late game to be able to carry the team that way. But when you see her get a double kill in the first minute of the game, that is definitely a bad omen for what's to come. If that Kali's already able to get that kind of damage off and get those kind of kills, who knows what they're going to be able to do once they're actually online and able to get those target resets. We see a small rotation from Baby Young Vic looking to play around this shield buff for his team. You know, Harpies slightly behind on the pressure in their duo lane, but nothing crazy. Yep, he's gonna go straight for that shield buff, and Rayful is just gonna clear the wave. Doesn't seem like there's gonna be much fighting at this point in time.
Yo, guys, I got a lobby up under Nuke Venezuela 7. Password is 124. Guys, join it. All right. Bye.
Okay,
Raijin.
thank you, Sped.
Yeah, okay. Raijin was fighting with the Agni a little bit mid, but it seems like they've backed off. Kali ganking in the solo lane. No, doesn't look like a kill, but it is gonna be a blue buff invade with Baby Young Vic being nowhere in sight. And yep, the blue buff goes the way of Hades. Susanoo is still on the way, but is Rav gonna go down? He just might, and actually no, it's Speed of Sound soloing Scoot once again, but Ovisi also gonna go down to Rendy CQR. Just absolutely, or Rendy Core, sorry, as an O, not IQ. Yeah, I mean, we saw the double kill in mid, and now two more. This is looking absolutely amazing for Haiti. I mean, you have a pretty strong late game draft, and you're winning this hard early. This is not looking good for Harpies at all.
And not at all. Ghost Rider being, he was 2 levels up on this Susano. That means the Susano is really going to be allowed to live at all. There's a lot of damage and ultimate from obviously as well. He's going to tower dive it. He's not going to get it though.
No kill for Rendy Core, unfortunately, as he didn't get a hit off, and just a bit of an overzealous dive, and that's another death on the board for the Harpies. It seems like they might be panicking a little bit here. They really gonna have to get their bearings quickly if they want to have a chance at winning this game.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, this Susano now being level 5 means he's gonna be a bit more scary. But it is gonna be an uphill battle. Maybe you want to get on that Raijin, but then again, he has a lot of self-peel. So probably, I think, where Harpies have to look at is the duo lane. You can see Flutocute is already pushed in. And you probably want to get your hard carry from game 1 back in it as well, or get him a very good footing in this game. And I think Rayful would probably make good use of that. So what I would like to see from the Harpies here is just put some pressure over in duo lane. Get Rayful ahead, let him do his weird rotations that he did in game 1. Come on to fights that people will probably usually not rotate to. But then again, Rendy Core just getting another kill. Speed of Sound as well. That's what I was talking about. The Raijin is now back in it.
This really can't be going worse. I mean, Haiti is just dominating across the board. They're getting kills everywhere. Be a gank onto the duo lane. Geb left super weak. The tick damage is just barely gonna leave him alive, and that was insanely close. Rayful stepping up, looking for a kill maybe as Chernobog steps into the tower, takes 2 shots, has to use beads. Rayful is gonna get the kill on him, but Kali does end up killing Geb, but now Apollo's in the air, and they've just given Rayful 2 kills. And I mean, we saw him absolutely carry that last game, and it seems like he's trying to again with his entire team falling behind. He is not dissuaded from taking these fights.
Oh, Agni engaging in mid as well, just barely unable to find that kill into Speed of Sound. That was very dangerous of Speed to just go in there like that, or stay in there like that. Agni can always just dash on you and he has so much CC and so much damage as well that you have to be really careful. I think Agni is probably still one of the best mages as well, currently, even with Raijin being that good. That being said, yeah, very big fight for the Harpies here, I feel like, as the solo laners are just smacking each other as they are used to. Yeah, getting Rayful ahead is exactly what I was saying. Now, Baby Young Vig was not involved, but he doesn't need to be. There's a double kill to be had. Rayful is surely going to pick that up, and so he does. Killing the enemy ADC as well is really big. Just keeping Floof to Cute behind again this much is probably something that you really want to look at if you're the Harpies. Like, the rest of the map is basically out of your control now, right? Your mid lane is mostly lost. Yeah, Scoot could put some more pressure on again, as he did, as he forced Speed of Sound to back there, but realistically, you have to be a bit more scared of Speed of Sound. He has some items up already that Scoot doesn't have, while Rayful is pushing his lead.
Yeah, Rayful just completely winning this lane. I mean, I would really, I mean, we were talking about the Harpies playing on this duo side. I mean, with the solo lane winning, the mid lane is winning, all on their own, without the help of this Kali.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see this Kali look over and try to help this Karnanos, because, I mean, Rayful is playing super far up. He's hugging that tower line like his life depends on it. And
It does.
this Kali really needs to, I think, punish his Apollo for playing like that, or at least,
Yeah.
like, you don't even need to kill him. You need to just put pressure on so this Karnanos can get back into the game, because if this Karnanos is in the game right now, I mean, they'd be able to get objectives. They'd be able to play for that gold, play for that pyro as soon as it spawns. I mean, but because this Karnanos is so far behind, they're going to really struggle to be able to rotate and do those objectives effectively.
That is very true. I do feel like with Rayful playing this aggressive into a character that should usually have the pressure as well, I feel like Karnanos, even with him not being that in the meta right now, is still very good at just pressuring early. If you can just get that down, Ghost Rider is here to look at it as well, but Rayful just knows he's not gonna be bothered at all.
Bit of jumping to be had as Rayful decides to take the fight, but it was all a bait for this Susanoo. Kali gets absolutely melted. The destruction is gonna be popped, but it's not gonna last long enough, and Rayful is gonna get his 3rd kill of the game. I mean, it's very obvious what Harpies is looking to do now, and Hati is gonna have to do their best to really stop this Apollo from getting that lead, because I mean, at the end of the day, if your solo laner can be ahead all he wants, but if that Apollo is able to just rip through his health bar, it's not gonna matter.
That's what I was worrying. We were talking a bit behind the scenes about this King Arthur and how viable he is. And in my opinion, even without him being counterpicked, tanks just don't feel that good right now, in my opinion. And if you've got this fat ADC, which Rayful is just proving to be once again, you have to really worry. Because sure, okay, you can try and kill the Agni when you are the King Arthur, but then again, he also has self-peel, and then you want to have this Apollo with you anyway.
Oh!
Big kill on the Speed of Sound, though, by Scoot. Sorry, I should have handed over to you there.
No,
I'm
you're fine.
I'm worried about the Arthur, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Arthur is a great pick, but you need your jungler to be able to follow up, and I think you also need an ADC that's not dying on cooldown to Rayful as he gets his solo kill. This is, I mean, we were talking about the early game. Hati still has a lead, but I mean, mentally, like, Hati has to be looking at Rayful right now and just not being happy at all. I mean, Floof 2 Cute's mental cannot be top peak right now. Just, you have to be, this Rayful is going to need to be shut down eventually. I mean, he went that last game unkilled, if I remember right, about 11-0-13, and if that happens again, I mean, it's going to be, even with this current lead, it's going to be really hard for Hati to just take home a win here.
It really is. Now Baby Young Vig is also back in it. You saw the graph. We just had a nice little mountain
Oh my god.
of Hati having a really good early game. And then the Harpies just being like, yeah, well, you know what? We don't really want you to have that. So how about we start playing the game? And I mean, it really only took Rayful to play that game, and then for Ghost Rider to kind of do what he did in game 1 a lot, where he thinks he can 1v3, but ends up not being able to, which is something you could actually see coming. But yeah.
Rayful in a bad spot here. His 3 are there to gank, but he still is able to get out. They weren't able to collapse on him effectively. But now, if we look at the gold lead, because of those Rayful kills and because, you know, some ganks on solo and that shutdown on mid, I mean, Harpies has the lead now. And if there's anything that will crush, Rayful getting absolutely kit dumped by Hati is gonna finally fall, and that's a good amount of shutdown gold. And now Hati took back the gold lead just like that. But I have to say, after being so far ahead that early, there's nothing more dissuading than having such a strong lead and then losing it so fast and having to play from pretty much neutral again. Because I mean, falling behind early is one thing, but when you get so far ahead early and then you fall behind, it just really feels bad. But obviously, Hati has really changed up their game plan here, you know, going for a full tower dive under Rayful there, putting a lot of pressure on, and I'd like to see them continue to do that.
I mean, it's definitely the right idea. Again, you see where the problem is. I mean, you'd be blind if you couldn't see that Rayful was the problem in game 1. So putting the pressure on him, tower diving him like that, definitely the right choice. What I want to see from the Harpies now is just ward up, keep your ADC alive. He does have an ultimate that gets him out very nicely as well. If he can just channel it in time, some good damage into Obama. Not gonna be enough by just a little bit. Walking is hard. But yeah, Rayful should be able to stay alive if he can just ward up, if his team can just ward up. But if not, and Hati can maybe counter ward. That's also something I was going to talk about in game 1. Warding really needs to be looked at. No one was really warding that much, especially around those fire dances, and that leads to them being so scrappy and awkward because no one knows where anyone is.
Another gank looking out on Rayful here as Ghost Rider steps in. I guess didn't know where he was at. No callouts from the Kernanos. Beacon is up, and the only one... Actually, sorry, Beacon is down. Chaos gets it. I didn't even realize it came up, and it went straight down. It seems like Hati was a bit tunnel-visioned around Rayful and just completely forgot that Beacon existed, and it's going to go the way. And that's another stepping stone on Harpy's path to really just coming back into this game and starting to really put the pressure on. And we see this Kali. This Kali got 2 kills early and did some good ganks, but hasn't been seeing much sense and is now getting caught out as a purple here by Baby Young Vic and the Apollo. Rayful putting out a lot of damage. The Wild Hunt and Destruction comes out. Typhoon does hit, but into the Destruction. Oh, and a massive wave hits too. Kernanos in a bad spot. The Cataclysm is going to miss, but a huge spin siphon from Baby Young Vic is going to pull 2 in. Oh, and a good scrap in mid lane as Scoot just wins out on the 1v1. And now Ghost Rider goes down to Rayful's ult. This is just looking terrible for Hati. They're losing on every front. Charon in a bad spot, gets wind siphoned by Susanoo, and the shell is going to keep him alive. And, I mean, Harpies went 4 for 0 there, just completely dominating the map, and it seems like they've changed their mind of going back to lane, and they're going to pick up the gold here, and I really do like this call.
Hati just not knowing when to call it quits, man. Ghost Rider, sure, you can look for those corner cams and invades, and you should. I mean, you want to keep Rayful down, and that's, yeah, perfectly fine. But just know when to back off. Because sometimes a battle is just lost and you will not win it. And to be fair, Ghost Rider would have gotten out, but then he decided to corner camp in mid while his mid laner got soloed by Scoot. Either you actually do something, or you just back off. Because you're not going to win anymore. There is no redemption arc in that fight. You just kind of have to, call it quits, cut your losses, and try again next time. But now it's going to be harder the next time, because now there was 4 kills for Harpies and a Gold Fury. And with that, Harpies are just suddenly 2k in the lead. Like, yeah, just very unfortunate from the side of Hati. I do think Ghost Rider, he does have the Hasten Katana now, so he is a lot scarier than he was before. And I do think he can put a lot more pressure on this backline from the Harpies. But he does kind of need to get there. And so far, it's been difficult outside of those first 2 kills.
Yeah, it seems like Ghost Rider, maybe on the back of his 4 early kills, maybe forgot that he's playing such a hyper late game god that's really not going to be able to take those big team fights. I mean, his ult did get a lot of value there, but at the end of the day, he just didn't deal enough damage for it to really matter, because he lived. the ult kept him alive, but what did he do while he was alive? I mean, he got a little bit of damage on the carry onto Rayful, and Baby Youngvik ended up being pretty close to dying. But now he's using his ult to get a tower, and I can't say he is gonna live because of the peel from Floof Too Cute. But Floof Too Cute dashing in, dropping the Wild Hunt on Rayful. Bit of an interesting play. I mean, Rayful is half HP, but he's also 3 levels up with a full extra item. So I don't know if Floof Too Cute even wins that fight. And yeah, I mean, using destruction to get the tower there, I think that's such a high value ultimate. And it's, when you're a character that's auto attack, you're not gonna be building any cooldown. That's down for a long time, and now Raijin is in serious danger.
No.
Gonna die to the jet stream from Susanoo. I mean, Haiti is just falling apart at the seams here. They looked so good in like the first 5 minutes of the game, but ever since Rayful started really connecting with those kills, I mean, it seems like Haiti started to really panic and try to overstay their welcome in some of these fights.
Yeah, really weird decision making to try and, well, kill a tower with 3 people when you're level 12 and no one can really tank it. That was interesting, and yeah, so much used for that. Now Ghost Rider's actually caught in the jungle as well. Totally engaged on, no ultimate available, no CC immunity. Oh, he does have CC immunity and a blink as well, so he's gonna get out of that one. But yeah, it's really tough, and now we've got Rayful up in the air as well. He's here for that fight, while the other ADC is on the other side of the map, which means he's gonna tower dive for himself.
Yep, and I mean, Rendikor is the only one to really contest him at all here. It seems like Harpies back off the tower and instead go for Pyro, and I mean, you really don't have anything available to be able to contest this. I mean, your Raijin has no beads to step up, your Kale has no blink to engage, your Cardanos is level 12, so there's really no contesting these objectives. I mean, honestly, Harpies could probably look at a Fire Giant at this point, and it wouldn't be that bad of a call. But they are going to take the safer play and not pull the Fire Giant, for sure. But looks like Ghost Rider looking for some kills here in mid. He's gonna go put a little bit of damage onto Yemen. A missed bomb for Scoot and a missed 2 for Scoot. A lack of damage onto the Kali. But I mean, yeah, Harpies is playing around the lead that they've gotten pretty well. They're not overextending and they're not really making the same mistakes that Haiti did. But now we see Yemen in a bit of danger from Rendikor. And the beacon is gonna go the way of Haiti, and that's a small little boost that you get for sure. It's a good amount of gold, it's a good amount of XP, and with your whole team here and Yemen having to back, I mean, looks like Haiti might try to look for something, but no, instead they're gonna choose to back off. Rayful not letting Speed of Sound back for free. He's gonna keep walking up. We do a little trolling here, and he's had his fill of his trolling, and now he's gonna go back to lane. But I mean, look at this. I mean, Oversea is level 18 right now. I mean, even with these 3 people, he's going to be so hard to kill. Like, look how little damage he's taking. Like, full kits from all of them. And a massive Blink Cataclysm comes in. Apollo, the Wild Hunt is going to peel, but the Beads is going to stop that. Raijin ult comes through, doing a lot of damage, but not able to connect the kill on Oversea. And now Haiti is on the back foot, trying to run away. Oh, Ghost Rider goes in, but gets absolutely melted by Scoot, and he's forced to use the ult to get out. Now Rayful incredibly weak too from Speed of Sound, and it seems like Harpies still ends that fight out on top.
I was, for a second, really worried. I see Speed of Sound just dashing into 4, but magically does not take any damage and just comes back out unscathed. That means Gold Fury is up on the table again. It just respawned. We do have Ghost Rider in the right lane really low, and that means the Harpies can just push for it for free. Floof the Cute is aware, I think, but he can't realistically step up. Level 13. I'm sorry, 4 levels behind Rayful. I just don't think it's happening. Harpy's getting this Primal Fury completely scot-free as Baby Young Vig also looking to invade is unleashed. Purple buff, Floof the Cute is just not allowed any breaks whatsoever. As Hati just kind of falling apart, as you said.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't seen much help for really be allocated to Floof Too Cute here. He's kind of been all on his own to fight against the absolute demon that Rayful has been so far in this set. And I mean, honestly, any ADC, you're just getting left on an island, and it really sucks because I mean, obviously Rayful has been playing really, really well, and Floof Too Cute probably could have had some better plays himself, but at the end of the day, this is a team game, and if you're forced to 1v1 an Apollo and you're 5 levels down, there's not really much you can do. It's just not really winnable. You need your team to really come through and help you, and it doesn't seem like Floof Too Cute has really been getting help that he that he needs, and that's gonna really end up coming to cost Haiti in the late game because right now this is a really important part of the game. We're 20 minutes in, people are starting to get really starting to get their builds online, and FluffTQ's just not. He's not gonna have that build online, and for this Fire
Yeah.
Giant fight, for Pyro fights, for sieges, FluffTQ's just not gonna be able to dish out the damage that they're gonna need to be able to win these fights.
Now Floof is also just not in lane farming. He's weirdly hovering around the jungle, not getting anything done. And the biggest problem here, I don't even think, is the 4 levels, or well, 5 levels now that Rayful has got on him, but it's the money. Rayful has so much more gold and so many more items that are gonna allow him to do so much more damage, especially on those tanks. I think that's one of the reasons why Overseas is just not dying. He doesn't have anyone pressuring him. Speed of Sound is fairly behind. He doesn't really have those important items online yet. I do feel like, also, I'm not sure I like his build very much. Yes, you've got some Panda, but there is no power, no on-hit effects, which are pretty strong right now, I feel like, in items. But then also, FluffTQ, you will just never, ever be able to pressure any frontliner of the Harpies right now. And especially if you've then also got a shield from Yaman, like, you will never, ever die. And that means, yeah, the Harpies are just kind of free to do whatever they want.
Yeah, I would really like to see the Harpies try to pick up some fights right now, especially, they know that FluffTQ is not going to be able to dish out much damage. And it seems like they've listened to my caster's call, and they've really grouped up here, and it seems like they're going to maybe try to siege this mid, although it seems like Ghost Rider is on the back end. He's going to catch Rayful. Rayful running away from his team, though. Not the best play I'd like to see. He gets blinked on. Rayful gets up into the air just barely, and now Ghost Rider's gonna get punished for the overextension. Oh, and Ghost Rider just gonna live, but dies to one of Scoot's bombs. And now, Speed of Sound is able to pick up Scoot, but now he's in deep, and he just up downs with the dash. The beads comes out. He gets pulled back in by the Wind Siphon. Oh, and Yemen tanks the Arthur ult for Baby Young Vic, saving his life. And the Wild Hunt comes out, but the 5-level difference here. Look at how little damage Overseas taking right now. FluffTQ is just not able to shred him effectively because exactly what we're talking about. Now Overseas just running at him, and he's not getting any appeal from his team. His team is just too focused on being on the aggressive that he just gets left on an island and forced to try to 1v1 a tank that he can't kill.
While Overseas doing that chase down Rayful is 1v2 and getting a kill, and now pressuring a tier 1 as well. Yeah, it's just kind of over at this point. I feel like Harpies have such a lead on the important people in their team that is really tough for Hati to come back at any form. We see a, what's this, 7k gold lead for Harpies already. Gold Fury about to come up, and everyone is there for it. Straight on spawn. That is some really good objective and map play coming out of the Harpies. And, I'm really worried. I don't know where Harty's going to come back from this. I feel like you need to farm somewhere, but then again, Harpies just kind of fight you wherever you go. And your waves are honestly pushed up so far as well, especially for the duo side, that Floof can't even farm that well. I don't really know where he's supposed to go and get his levels and, gold from. Harpies are just continuing to completely graze all over the map, taking everything they can find. And they're making it work.
When you have that kind of pressure, you really can go wherever you want. If we look at the net worth charts, the 4 main damage dealers of Harpies are the top 4 gold, and then followed by 3 of the damage dealers for Hati, and then the support of Harpies, and we see FluffTQ at the very bottom below his own support. I feel like he's not he's not getting the help, and with no farm on the map to speak of, he's kind of forced to be here in these fights because there's nowhere else that there is to be. And we see, Ghost Rider get completely caught out. Destruction does come out, and the wave is going to help peel. And he's still looking at Scoot. Gets a lot of damage, but he's going to fall. And if we thought it was bad enough, the only level 20 on their team is going to fall. And this is just looking terrible for Hati. And the Titans are fighting in middle. It seems like, Rendicore has been caught out a little bit. He is extremely tanky, but given enough time and enough Agni bombs, he is gonna go down. He lives on 1 HP just barely, but Apollo
he is under Rayful.
Chariot comes down on him, takes him down. Rayful just absolutely cooking this team. And even no one is safe from Rayful's damage. Obama gets absolutely melted. Now they have a Titan in mid running it down. This could be an end call, although it would be risky. Harpies is pretty weak, but they do get the guaranteed Phoenix.
Yeah.
Bit of an interesting use of the bomb. I don't think you need to use the bomb at all there because you do have your Titan. You can kind of just step in and get the bird. I think you should always save the bomb there. But now they're gonna be able to reset and play for that fire damage. And I mean, the player damage charts are back, and guess who's on top?
It sure is Rayful, and yeah, he's doing exactly what he can with that ultimate. We do see Randy Core almost getting out, but you know, don't count your chickens before they've hatched. There is a Rayful who can just go up in the air, and he's gonna be faster than you, and he is going to find you. And yeah, now he is basically full build. There is no way anyone can really stand up to him. I do agree. I think the bomb was not needed there, but might as well. Honestly, you probably don't need it later on either. You do still have a bomb on Baby Youngvik as well. So I'm not really sure Hati can really do anything about this at this point. I am streaming right now, so I can't really see it.
Might be having some more technical difficulties this time. We're unfortunately not able to see the game currently. But yeah, I mean, Rayful just absolutely cooking this game.
Yeah.
And it seems like we may need to cut to a break here. Wait, hold that thought. Wait, back into the game. We can see what is going on again. It seems like Harpies really playing on this fire giant. I could have probably predicted that. And
Yeah.
they're going to pull it pretty much immediately. The wave of Charon comes out really early, hitting literally nobody but the fire giant. We see Ghost Rider on the backside. Doesn't seem like he's caught on a ward. Rayful there, but Ghost Rider going in a little early. It seems nowhere near him, ready to engage with him. Seems like he's trying to 1v5 and he's going to fall to Scoot. Just Rayful
Again.
really, I think he needs to communicate with his team more, but that doesn't matter right now as Geb putting in the absolute work on the front line. Oversea and Baby Youngvik going to tear Speed of Sound apart, limb from limb. And now Obama and Flukecute are the only ones left alive. But, I mean, what are you going to do as a support and ADC with no damage? I mean, the ADC, he's going to go for the split push. I mean, I feel like that's about as much value as you can get out of this Kernos right now. But
Yeah.
you can't even get that as Oversea is ready there with a teleport. And he's going to look for the chase here on a Flukecute. Flukecute might stop for the shield buff, and that might be his downfall. Fire Giant goes the way of the Harpies. Flukecute dodges the urge of the greed to stop at the gold buff. Fortunately for him, because Oversea still in tow, and they're gonna looks like Harpies is choosing to run down right lane. Should be another Phoenix pretty much free for them.
I feel like, I hate to call out Ghost Rider like that, but I feel like he has a little bit of like hero syndrome. He always feels like he needs to make a big play happen, which forces him or leads him to go in like really unfavorable fights. We've seen him like go into 1v3, 1v5 fights so many times. This game, the last game as well, and it just never ever works out. As much of a late game carry as Kali is, you will still not win if all 5 are looking at you and are ready to just stop your damage from happening. There is still some really good peel coming out from Gab. There is still some really good CC coming out from Oversea and Yaman and Scoot and Rayful, honestly, as well with the Mez. You just won't be able to beat all of that and then get your damage off. You need to have your team with you. And with Flukecute just split pushing, which is totally fair as well, you kind of just can't get
bad
that.
spot once again. He does jump the wall, but the Wind Siphon and no ult to be seen is gonna put him down. I feel like Ghost Rider, there must be a communication issue there, because in that last fight around the Fire Giant, I mean, there was 4 people standing there where he dove in, and his team was nowhere to be found up there. So, I mean, I feel like one way or the other, someone has to be not communicating it. And honestly, the only one to think of is Ghost Rider. I mean, he's like, when you see that happen, you just can't imagine that he's communicating that dive, because none of his team was ready to follow up on him. None of his team was ready to peel for him when he tried to get out, and there was nothing he could have done because he just blinked in, and he didn't really wait for any follow up. But the Phoenix is under siege. Rennie Core is gonna fall pretty immediately. The Typhoon comes out. It's gonna hit Flukecute, knock him up. He's gonna be able to dash out, but the damage is coming in strong. The Titan is looking pretty open here now that 3 Phoenixes have been broken. Ghost Rider is up, and if there's a time to make a play, it is now. Well, his team has nowhere to go but forward.
Ghost Rider is kind of watching as Harpies is
walking his Titan. It looks like it is an end call. Ghost Rider's looking for something. He blinks into 3. He gets a good stun. he's going to use destruction, but he's so far from his team that he's not going to have any follow-up. And now he's going to not
Ooh, he
fall.
lives.
Geb is still chasing. He's going to die to the Mystic Rush from the Ravana. And now it is once again a 3v5 for Hati to try to defend this. But a huge Agni Bomb absolutely destroy Flute Too Cute. Scoot is just absolutely cooking this game. And what else is getting cooked but the Titan right now, as it's going to fall in a Chiron wave. Too little, too late.
That was match point Harpies taking it dominantly in 2 games. That means I'm not allowed to analyze anymore. We're throwing it back to the desk. Lana, Loki, take it away.
Pretty dominant performance again from the Harpies. I feel like as soon as we saw just a bit of a turnaround outside of dropping those first couple